Okay, so yesterday we were doing, let's see, today's the 6th. We were talking a bunch about the exponential growth and decay, and we were just looking at the characteristics of the graph, okay? But especially if you want to get into anything science-based for your career in life, exponential growth and decay are two huge things that gets used a lot in the real world scenario. So today that's what we're going to kind of look at. We're going to look at how do we come up with these equations that are going to kind of help us in the big scheme of thing, okay? So was it yesterday somebody in here said bacteria was an example of your growth? I don't know, maybe it was 8th period. But anyway, so we have a heated swimming pool and there's a bacteria count, okay? It's 1,500 bacteria per cubic centimeter on Monday at 8 a.m. And the count doubles each day after, okay? That's why, which is kind of gross, which is why on pools they put so much chlorine in to keep all that bacteria out.
Then when you go take a shower, it burns your skin.
Yes, but I would rather have chlorine burning my skin than bacteria eating my skin. That's the way I look at it. But anyway, so what we're going to look for is what bacteria count can we expect on Wednesday at 8 a.m. Okay, so if we make a table, this is Monday. We're at day 0, and it's 8 a.m. Okay, so 8 a.m., and we're at 1,500 bacteria, blah, 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 cubic per whatever, okay? Tuesday at 8 a.m., what's it going to be? If it doubles, I would do 1,500 times 2, right? So that's going to give me 3,000. So then Wednesday at 8 a.m., I would take my 3,000 and times it by 2. Would you agree? Okay. And that gives me 6,000. Okay. So Wednesday at 8 a.m., I would have gone from 1,500 to 6,000. Okay. So let's finish. I got Thursday at 8 a.m. I did 6,000 times 2. That's going to give me 12,000. And then Friday at 8 a.m., 12,000 times 2 is going to give me 24,000. And then Saturday, I'm all the way up to 48,000. That's a lot of exponential growth. That's a lot of bacteria. Okay? So I want to think about, and I want to go swimming at 2 p.m. on Thursday. Okay? So that's like 3¼ days after my initial count. But I want to see, let's say that, I don't know, let's say 15,000, and I'm just making numbers up. 15,000 is the magic number where it's not safe to go swimming anymore, okay? We'll just say that for off the top of my head. So I want to know if I'm going to be safe enough to go swimming at 2 o'clock on Thursday, all right? So let's estimate out what we think it's going to be. Everybody with me? All right, so between Thursday and Friday, it goes from 12,000 to 24,000. So somewhere between Thursday morning at 8 a.m. and Friday morning at 8 a.m., it goes past that threshold. Question is it going to be before or after the 2 p.m.? All right, for safety. So, how much did it jump in that time period? From Thursday 8 a.m. to Friday 8 a.m., from Thursday to Friday, it goes up by 12,000. Would you agree with that? What? Okay. And if I'm at 3.25 days, that means I need to divide that number by 4 because I'm at a quarter, right? So that would give me 3,000. That would be at 2 p.m. Do you agree with me on that? You see how I got that? And I have my original 12,000 at 8 a.m. And that's going to give me approximately estimate of 15,000. But that's my number. I want to know exactly, because if it's that, we're talking too close to a borderline. Okay? Because I want to make sure it's safe for me to swim. Okay? So how could I do that? Well, let's come up with an actual equation to find out exactly. This was good for estimating it out, but all right, if I began with a count of 1,500, how did I get to the number of bacteria after 1 day? What did we do? We multiplied by 2, right? And how did we calculate for after 2 days and 3 days and 4 days? What did we do every time? Chris, say that louder. Yeah, we multiplied by 2. Okay, so if we think about it, that would make my base what? If I need is it exponential growth? Yes. So that means I could write it as y to the b x. That means I need a base. What's my base? What did I multiply by? 2. So that makes b is my 2. Okay. But what stayed the same in each of my, or where did I start with? What was my initial number? Chris? Or 1,500, yeah. I have an initial number of 15,000, or no, you got me doing it. 1,500. So I got to include that. And then I took that 1,500 and I multiplied it by 2. And X was the number of days that I was doing it, right? Okay, so that means to find out where my exact is, I'm going to find the population of bacteria at 3.25. So that means I can plug and chug in my calculator, the 1,500 for my original, that's where I started, times 2 to the 3.25. All right, so 1,500 times 2 to the 3.25, and I get 14,270.48. So my estimate was a little high, thank goodness. That means it's going to be okay for me to go swimming. I was close, but it wasn't exact. Does that make sense? Good so far? All right, so I want to actually, let's look at this as a graph. Okay, let's take a look at what the graph is going to be. So that means I need 1,500 times 2 to the x. All right, everybody do that in your one calculator. Okay, so we're going to do the y equals button, and it's 1,500 times 2 to the x. Everybody with me? All right, so if I look at my graph, can you guys see that? It's not where I want it to be. Can't really tell anything about it, right? That's because my window is only from -10 to 10. So I need to change my window settings, okay? This is like, because remember, the graph could be from -infinity to infinity. So I need to expand it so I can see the window, okay? This is always your regular settings, all right? And I'm actually okay with my X, but my minimum, my Y, I'm starting at 1500. So let's do like -100 and let's go to, I don't know, like 500,000. See if that works. And if I do at 500 increments, because otherwise if I do every one, see what it looks like now. It's much better. I can see a little closer, but it's not going to be quite the same. Let's change let's see, let's do -100 and do these by 10 and see how that changes. Oh, well, that's not what I want. Go back to -1. Oh, that's why it went to. Okay, so that you can see. Okay, so if I want to find my y-intercept, I can hit this calculate button and see, I want the intersection, and it's going to tell me that it's at 1500. Okay? And if I want to find when x is equal to 3.25, I can hit calculate and the value, and it just put in 3.25, and it's going to tell me the 14270. Okay? All right, so we're almost out of time, but the homework problems are basically just like this. The big thing, your initial value, you're going to use this equation format. Your initial value is A, and the rate that it's growing or decreasing is going to be B. Think of it as in terms of what are you multiplying by. Okay? Good? Questions? Comments? Concerns? Please remember to bring your calculator every day for the next couple weeks. If you don't have one and need to do a a rental agreement, there's one hanging on the board back there.